Hi, welcome to NCIX Tech Tips. Today we have a somewhat rushed version of NCIX Tech Tips because we only got to keep this sample for a pretty short period of time. However, the time we did get to spend with it, it's a pretty cool new product from LG. Basically, it's a 4-bay NAS unit. So you can see here, I'll open up the front, you've got, wow, you can't see that at all, can you? 4 hard drive bays, but what's really unique about this product is that you have an integrated Blu-Ray Re-Writer. So we'll talk to you about it a little bit in a little bit. So as you'd expect from a company that also designs and manufactures home appliances, the LG NAS unit that we've got here today is quite stylish looking. You've got a mesh front plate with buttons that go through to all of the internal buttons here. You've got a little LCD readout. At the very top of the unit, you've got the 5¼ inch Blu-Ray Re-Writer. So that can be used through the included software for example, scheduling backups, for just burning batch files at a time off your hard drives that are 4 hard drives, and you can configure these in RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 0+1, or RAID 5. You've also got an SD slot in the front as well as a USB port. Then moving around to the back of the unit, so I'm just going to turn this around now. We do have it plugged in, so I'm going to be a little bit tethered here, but you've got your LG logo on the side. At the back, you've got a couple more USB ports, a gigabit Ethernet, you've got an eSATA, a 92mm cooling fan, and then the internal power supply. So that's the unit in a nutshell. Now, as you may notice in this shot right now, my hair is a little bit different. I have a sunburn on my face from going to the zoo, and the reason for that is that it's been about a week since we did our last shot, and we don't have high-tech makeup and, you know, crews that can make sure that I look identical from shot to shot. So we actually had some technical difficulties with the LG NAS that were caused completely by my own ineptitude, because whenever I tested it in my office, I would just kind of turn it on and then walk away. And when I tested it here, I kept thinking it wasn't booting because it takes about 2 minutes to fully turn on so that you can actually access it, which is fine because with a NAS unit like this, you should be running it off a UPS anyway, so that even in the event of a power outage, it does not turn off. And you should never really turn it off. It's meant to be 24/7 data storage. So without further ado, we'll get back into our episode, so to speak, and show you some of the internal features on the UI that LG includes with the NAS unit, and off we go. You'll be able to see how they animate though? Okay. So anyway, here's the cool little graphical UI that we have here. So you can handle all of your basic settings from within Internet Explorer or Firefox, as it were. So you can do your network, so you can set the IP address, all that kind of stuff. You set your time. You can set it to do mail notifications, which is kind of cool. Probably the more important things for most users are going to be volume management. So that's where you can create RAID sets, or you can create partitions, all that kind of stuff. And then your firmware updates. The most unique thing about this NAS unit, I'm going to cheat here, it's the N41N, has got to be the Blu-ray burning though. So you can do scheduled backups. So you can tell it, okay, these folders, here I'm going to do a scheduled backup. I'm going to take these folders, I'm going to go next, and I want them to incrementally back up everything in that folder at X and X time, daily, weekly, or monthly. So that way, just by storing a rewritable Blu-ray disc in the drive, you can actually just make sure that you've got not only your redundant disk array, but you've also got an optical backup of your most important data. Very cool. And then you can also just burn a disk. If you click the right thing, which is here, so you can just take any files that are on your NAS unit and burn them directly to disk. So I guess that's really the coolest features about this, and the next thing we're going to do is a quick speed test, and then we're going to be done. So for our speed test, we're going to be doing something pretty basic. We're going to grab a 1080p movie trailer, and we're going to drag it from the NAS to our desktop, because really, most of the time you're using the unit, it's going to be to store your files. Actually, my personal computer does not have any of my data on it, and I use a NAS completely for all of my files. So what that means is that you need pretty quick transfer speeds if you're going to be just always accessing all of your data off your NAS. So here we're having a look at our transfer rate. So this is under Windows Vista Ultimate right here, and we're looking at about 25, I've seen it spike up to about 30 megabytes per second reading off a RAID 5 array on the LG NAS unit. That's quite respectable, especially considering that we are running Vista, which does have some networking niggles about it, so to speak. So the next thing we're going to do is the write test, and then we're done. As you can see, we are working on our writing test. So we've got the same 1080p trailer and we're copying it from the notebook PC in front of me over to the NAS, which is on my left, but you can't see it because you're zoomed in on the transfer speed. Now the transfer speeds are quite a bit slower than the reads, but that could be accounted for by the fact that the NAS unit is running in RAID 5, which is quite a bit more processor intensive. But honestly, we're not sure what other kinds of overheads could exist in this case. Either way, I don't think it's a deal breaker, even if you did see these kinds of transfer speeds, because you're not going to write to a device like this nearly as often as you're going to read from it. Now you can see in front of me, I've got a little shuttle PC. I just wanted to give you some idea of the scale of the NAS unit. So you've got your 4 hard drives and an optical drive in about the size of a small form factor QPC from Shuttle. So anyway, thank you for watching our tech tips on the LG NAS. I think I actually did another outro, so you'll probably be watching that in a second. So we actually did a full episode quite recently, as a matter of fact, on what is a NAS and why you would need one, what you can use it for. So basically a 4-bay NAS, the reason you're going to want 4 drive bays is for data redundancy. So you're going to want to use some sort of RAID level to make sure that all of the data that you have stored on the, I'm going to cheat here, N41N is going to be completely safe. So then this unit takes it obviously one step further in that you can take all of your RAIDed backed up data and archive it to Blu-ray media. It actually includes one rewritable Blu-ray disc, which given the cost of those discs is a pretty good value add actually. So I'm just going to show you how the removable drive bay system works. You just pop open the little chromed latch and you pull out the drives. They are attached via a pretty conventional little mounting system here. So you just put in 4 screws, 2 on either side of the drive. And you can see at the back we have a standard SATA interface. So that can just, if I didn't accidentally put the button back in, you can see a little red light has shown me that there's a problem with this drive. Can the cameraman see that? By the way, the cameraman is back. We made some other cuts here and there. We managed to squeeze him in. And then you can slide it back in, lock it in, and there you go. The little red light has gone off, indicating that there's no longer a problem with that drive. So anyway, just wanted to do a quick first look at the LG, I'm going to do it again, N4B1N. Thank you for watching NCIX Tech Tips.